I'm not gonna be NTA young girl, never twerk again. Like, no.
Hey, it's me.
Hi, welcome to my channel. So if you've been here before, you might realize things look a little different. And that's because today I am trying something new. Today's going to be a chit chat get ready with me. And unlike my other videos where it's more of a sit down commentary, I'm still going to be doing some talking, still some commentary, but it's more so going to be personal because it's going to be things regarding my life and just my experiences. Now, before I introduce the topic and before we get started, I'm going to do our verse of the day. So, our verse of the day is Psalms 51, verse 10. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew in me a right spirit. So, since this is a chit chat to get ready with me, I am going to be doing my makeup. I do not have plans today. It is Memorial Day, and I think I'm just going to get lunch with my parents. So, I'm going to keep the look very simple just in case they cancel, because sometimes they be doing that. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm not going to focus on what I'm using or the products, whatever, because this is not a makeup tutorial. Now, if you guys would like an actual detailed or like talk through makeup video, let me know down in the comments. But today we're going to be talking about what it looked like for me to let go of myself and to really like put God at the center. So that's really going to encompass concepts like modesty, sobriety, which I will touch on, and honestly anything else. Now, to be clear, this should be a um this should be pretty vulnerable. I'm gonna do my best to be vulnerable, where it is appropriate, of course, because one thing I really want to make important on this channel is just vulnerability and honesty about my walk with Christ and how I got to where I am today. But the reason why I thought, or maybe not thought, the reason why God called me to speak on this topic is because recently I did go out with some coworkers. And to be clear, we went to a bar. And before we went to the bar, I was like, okay, guys, I'm not going to drink. I'm not drinking because so far 2024, I drank like Valentine's Day. I think I had like one shot on Valentine's Day and I acted a fool. Mind you, I wasn't drunk or anything, but I think it was just the environment. And so I acted a fool. And after that one shot, God was kind of like, hey, girl, stop drinking. And I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'll try, whatever. I'll stop. Like, I wasn't really taking it seriously. I just kind of wasn't in a lot of situations so far this year to drink. Now I go out with my coworkers and I drink again. But this time I think I had a bucket, if you know what a bucket is. I had a bucket and then I also had a shot. So that was basically about 3 shots worth of alcohol, which mind you, once again, still not enough for me to be drunk or anything because I have a high tolerance for alcohol. Back then, before I really stepped into knowing Christ, I would go out and party, I would drink, I would do other things. And so I did learn a lot about my tolerance. These two occurrences, my tolerances were not to be like questioned. Um, but I just told myself, like, well, since I know my tolerance, as long as I have just a little bit of a drink, like, I'll be fine. I'm not gonna act up. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Y'all, I had the drink. I started twerking on it, and the conviction came. Like, yes, the conviction came from the twerking because I was twerking on stage. Um, after I had this drink, and it was at a karaoke bar, so it wasn't even like I was at a club. I was at a karaoke bar acting a fool for what, I don't know. But the conviction came right after because I literally just heard the Holy Spirit whisper to me, like, do you think if you approached anybody in this bar about me that they would believe you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, would anybody want to know who Christ is off of your behavior? And when the Holy Spirit said that, I tell y'all, I got up off that stage and I sat my butt down for the rest of the night because I realized how, in this situation, and so it was recent where I was putting myself first and wasn't really honoring God. And that's what this topic is about. It's really about honoring God and sacrifice of self, right? And the sacrifice of self is hard. So in the beginning, I first started to sacrifice self last year. Last July, I stopped. I don't know what words you're allowed to say on YouTube, but I used to partake in a substance that is a green leaf. And I started taking in that substance because I realized that my main reason for drinking alcohol and partaking in this substance was to combat my shyness because I am a shy person. And I was just kind of convinced, like, okay, well, this is going to fix the issue and this is going to make it easy for me to, you know, go out and people are going to like me more and people would just really see my personality. Because I'm convinced I'm a pretty, like, cool-ish person. But I just kind of felt like the only way people could get that out of me if they didn't know me was if I drank or if I blew smoke. You know what I mean? And obviously with time, God showed me like, yo, dude, you're cool. Like, you're like an interesting person, and you don't need the substances to bring that out of you. Like, just trust me to bring it out of you. Trust me to use you and to give you like confidence and to give you strength. And that was my thing. I was leaning on those things for confidence rather than just learning how to have confidence like through God and have confidence in myself as an individual. Um, and that was what God showed me in July when it came to the green leaf substance. And so I put that down, but I did keep drinking alcohol because I told myself, like, you know what? As long as I don't get drunk, it's fine. Like, I'm not crossing a line. Like, the Bible say we could drink as long as you don't get drunk. Like, so I kind of created this fake boundary. Which if you find yourself kind of like rationalizing things when it comes to sin, just you already know you're like crossing the line. You know what I mean? It's like the equivalent of being like, if I have a neighbor and I want his wife, but I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking about his wife. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like writing down what I would do to her. I'm not actually like sleeping with his wife. It's still adultery. That's what that was taught. Like, doesn't matter if you're not actually sleeping with the wife. As long as you're thinking about it, you're still committing a sin. And I think for me, even though I wasn't getting drunk, I was getting tipsy, and then the tipsiness would lead to maybe me doing certain behaviors that just weren't godlike. And for me, one of those behaviors was twerking. Like, I really like to twerk, and that's something God is saving me from. And that probably sounds silly, but it's like I just had to understand that when it came to being modest, that wasn't a behavior that I should be displaying because it wasn't really modest. It's not modest at all. And I'm not saying I'm gonna never twerk again. Like, I'm not gonna be NTA young girl, never twerk again. Like, no. But if I ever twerk again, it's gonna be for my husband. It's not gonna be for a crowd or for some random men or whatever. Because at the end of the day, when I really ask myself why am I twerking, it doesn't feel like it's for validation, but it also doesn't feel like it's for myself. You know what I mean? Like wearing makeup, I wear makeup for myself. And I think you could wear makeup and be, but twerking in public, twerking at parties, I don't think I was doing that for myself because I can't even see myself twerk. But I can hear people cheering. I can hear people being like, "Hey, hey!" Like I hear that. So I think I'm doing it for like the hype of it and like the validation and whatnot. And that was another thing I had to learn. Like, yo, dude, this is not nice. Yeah. So those were two things that God kind of really working with me on. And with that instance, that night going out with my coworkers, when God gave me that conviction of, hey, if you demonstrate these behaviors in public, it's going to be harder for people to believe the idea that I've changed you and I saved your life if you're still doing these old things you used to do before you like fully committed to me. You know what I mean? When he said that to me, the following conviction that came, and I say conviction because this is just for me. There might be many Christians out there who are able to drink alcohol, and that's fine for you and you have no issues, and that's fine. Like, it's not a bad thing. But for me personally, God convicted me and was like, look, girl, if you can't say no to the alcohol when you go out in public, then just don't go out. Like, if you can't say no to the drink, if you have that hard of a time saying no to people when it comes to drinking alcohol, then don't go. Because at the end of the day, I know when I start drinking alcohol, I start to act a fool. Or my inhibitions are lowered, like, which is literally what alcohol does. It lowers your inhibitions. And so I may do things that I know is not honorable, but I'm gonna do it anyways because of the fact that I'm under the influence. Even if I'm not drunk, I'm still under the influence. And so that's what the conviction was. Now you might be like, dang girl, like you never going out again? And it's like, no, I'm not saying I'm never gonna go out again, but I do think there comes a control now where I'm kind of like moderating myself in what I am allowed to do, where I am allowed to go. And that's just for me personally. Like, so what that means for me is maybe, not even maybe, but like not going to bars. or if I'm going to bars, I'm gonna be going with people who aren't gonna encourage me to drink, because that's the part of the issue. When I'm around certain friends, it's like, oh girl, just have a drink. Have, you know, like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of pushing me to drink, even when I'm like, hey guys, I'm not drinking, or I'm pursuing sobriety, like complete sobriety, not just from the one thing, but from alcohol and from the green leaf. I'm pursuing sobriety. Now, glory to God, I can say that like I have not smoked since last year, since July. Like once I put it down, I just put it down. I stopped, and I think that's because I never truly liked it. It was just something I did, because people did it, and it was like it was cool, like, but like you know what I mean. Like it was very accepted, and like it was just easy access. And that was a part of the reason why I did it. But once I stopped, I didn't feel like I was really missing out on anything. And plus, I got asthma, so like it was really not meant for me, to be honest. But alcohol was the harder one to give up. And I think it's really hard if you're someone who likes to drink alcohol, because there are people out there that exist that really don't like to drink alcohol. And so it'll be easy for y'all to give up alcohol. But if you're someone who likes to drink alcohol, which was me, um, I don't need that much convincing when a friend's like, "Oh, girl, just have one drink." Because I'm like, you know what, girl, you're right. My tolerance is this, and this, so one drink not gonna do nothing. But it's like one drink is enough to get you started. One drink is enough to get you warm, and that's what it was for me. And so it really just became about self governance. And now it's like being real with myself about what I can do. So, like for example, my friends want to go to the Megan Thee Stallion concert that is happening in Tampa. And like, I love Meg. I don't listen to her music anymore because a part of the modesty and just honoring God, I have stopped listening to most secular music. I still listen to Rod Wave and whatnot. But like, she has invited me to go to Megan's concert, and I really wanted to go. But then I kept thinking about it. I thought about like what most of her music promotes. I say most of it because she does have some music that's more like emotional and depth, and I do think she has great music. But I thought about what her music promotes. I thought about what the weekend would entail because she sent me the itinerary, and it was like going to bars and this and that. And I'm like, you know, I don't want to play myself and act like I'm gonna go to Tampa and just go to a bar and not drink, or go to a bar and finally, after only like 3 weeks of the karaoke incident, be strong enough to say no to a drink. Because at the end of the day, I'm a people pleaser, and I'm still working on people pleasing. So if my friends are like, "Hey girl, take a shot," I might take a shot. And that was a part of governing myself and being like, you know what, as much as I would love to go to this concert, there's multiple reasons why I shouldn't, and multiple reasons why I can use this as an opportunity to really honor God and just say, hey God, like I'm really trying to become the woman you want me to be. So I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. As much as I want to do it, I'm gonna choose God. And that's really what it's about when it comes to letting go of yourself and choosing God, and letting go of certain things you might do that are considered worldly. So like for me, my worldly thing was letting go really of alcohol, substances, letting go of twerking. And also, I haven't touched on this yet, but I'll touch on it now, letting go of certain clothing that I wore. So back then, I might insert some pics. I don't know. I'm debated about inserting pics just because I don't want to like trigger anybody. But back then, I really would dress like not like a hoochie mama per se, but I became very comfortable with showing my skin once I left my parents' house, because I grew up in a Haitian household, was not allowed to like wear shorts and stuff like that. Once I hit college, it was like booty shorts, it was crop tops, it was like, you know, I was just wearing anything and everything. And this was another thing in my life where I told myself like, oh, I'm dressing this way because, you know, it's for me. Like I feel like I look good, this and that. And I think a part of it, like, yeah, sure, I feel like I look good, but another part of it was I did want again, once again, wanted to be validated. I wanted people to be like, oh, body, oh, she snatched, oh, she this, like, you know, I think I wanted some recognition when it came to my looks. And I just had to learn recently that like I don't need to show so much skin to be beautiful or to be like recognized. Like I'm beautiful without my belly showing. I'm beautiful without my butt cheek popping out, my booty or popping out my shorts. Like, you know what I mean? And to be clear, I'm not saying I don't wear shorts anymore. I wear shorts now, but it's different. Like before, I would wear like booty shorts that, you know, had your legs hanging out of them, barely covered anything. Now it's like if I wear shorts, they're mid thigh or longer. There's no rips in them. I still wear crop tops, but it just depends on the occasion. Like I wear a very midriff, so not a high crop top, but like a midriff crop top. If I go to the gym, or like if it's really hot, because I live in Florida, like it's literally 98 degrees today. So like I'm not saying, oh, you can't wear crop tops and you gotta go outside covered to your sleeves every day. Like no, but I just think modesty. So like being modest. So certain things that I would wear back then, I don't wear now because of what they would show or because of the fact that it just like honestly didn't honor me, didn't honor my temple. Um, and you might be having a hard time with the guidelines of what this might look like for you, but I would say that modesty for everybody is different, and that's okay. Your modesty doesn't have to look like my modesty. My general guideline, and this is with some grace, is if I couldn't wear it in front of my dad, I can't wear it outside. Like, and I say that because I have a Haitian dad, and I did grow up very modest and dressing modest, so and the reason I say I do that with some grace is because my parents still would not want me to wear shorts. So like of course, like I said, I'll still wear shorts when it calls for it. But other than that, like with certain other things that I used to buy, I'm like, okay, can I wear this in front of my dad? Would he not trip? And usually the answer is yes, he would trip. And so a lot of my wardrobe I had to get rid of. I'm still in the process of buying new clothes and just learning how to dress in a way where I can feel beautiful without having to um sacrifice what I'm showing, if that makes sense, or without having to show more than I need to, if that makes sense. So, and it's a beautiful thing to learn about yourself because I think this has also helped me just learn how to feel beautiful in so many ways. Like, literally this month, I've challenged myself to only wear my natural hair out instead of getting my hair done for the month because I get my hair done like honestly every 3 to 4 weeks. Like I'm always getting my hair done, usually bouncing between like if it's cold wigs and then if it's like hot, different types of braids and twists and whatnot. And I just almost never wear my natural hair out for real. And so, God kind of challenged me like, hey, wear your hair out this month because I really need you to learn how to like love your natural hair and feel beautiful with your hair not done. Because I think growing up with the black community as a woman, when your hair is not done, it feels like okay, I'm not pretty. Like I don't look put together. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest with y'all because I said I'm being vulnerable. Literally, the main reason right now that I have a bonnet on is because my hair is in a twist out, and it's a really rough twist out. Like I didn't part it, I didn't nothing, and I do like the twist out, but I don't like the way it looks on camera. So I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna have my twist out on camera, and like that might sound sad. Like, dang, she don't like her natural hair, and I do like my natural hair, but I'm gonna be real and say that I'm still growing to love it and still growing to love my twist outs and whatnot. Because most of the time now, I really only like my natural hair if it's in an afro or if it's in like a clean twist out or something. But I also want to learn how to love it when it looks quote unquote rough because it's not rough. It's my hair. It's how God made my hair, and so I'm learning to love my hair as God made it, but it takes time because like we live in a society, and depending on the type of parents you have or how like your mother's groomed you, you might be so used to always having your hair done. And that's how I was because I always had my hair done as a kid because I was like, oh, I had thick kinky hair, my hair is like an issue, my hair is trouble, whatever the heck. So it's like all of that is a part of our conditioning, and with that we have to learn how to like eventually as you get older you have to learn how to love your hair for what it is and not for what you were taught it was, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, so that's really like all it is when it comes to modesty and just like loving yourself. And that's a part of like the natural beauty. Oh my goodness, y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Okay. Well, that's a part of like the natural beauty. Um, Loving your natural beauty. And to be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with weaves and wigs and whatnot. I only think it's the issue if you're wearing it with the like mindset of I'm only beautiful this way. And obviously, like I said, I always felt beautiful with my natural hair, but sometimes I felt like like oh well my natural hair is too much to deal with. It's like it's a lot of trouble. Like like that concept of oh when I have a protective style it's so easy, which it is easy, but that was a part of the reason why I wanted to challenge myself to learn how to like love my hair as is and just like wait I forgot to do something. Love my hair as is and just like get used to dealing with my hair and making it easy for myself. Like, because sometimes easy for my hair might not look the same for someone else. But if your hair can be easy for you if you take the time to learn your hair, and that's what I've learned this month. And I'm not gonna lie, I am getting my hair done in like 4 days, but I'm kind of proud of myself because I went 30 days, about 30 days. By Friday, it'll be about 30 days with just having my hair out and washing my hair every week and just learning different styles to do with my hair. So I'm proud of myself for that. Um, but yeah, so like a big part of this video that I really just want to focus on and make clear is I think that when it comes to modesty, when it comes to letting go of yourself for God, to build that relationship with God and etc., it's not easy. And if I'm making it sound easy, I apologize. Modesty is a video that I do want to make like a social commentary about, so I could really sit down and talk about it. But this is just really surface level, and why we talk about like some of the things I had to change in my life to honor God and to truly respect God. And if you feel called to change something, like if you're like, you know what, I've never considered, like some people don't ever think about why they drink alcohol. Because I did it. I thought I drank it, because everybody drank it, and like you're supposed to drink alcohol, whatever. But I kind of learned with time, like God showed me, like, hey, you drink alcohol because you think you're awkward, which I do think I'm awkward. But like you think you're awkward, and you think nobody's gonna want to talk to you if you're not like acting super bubbly and this and that, and you feel like alcohol makes you bubbly, so that's why you drink it, right? Um, and once I identified the reason, I had something to pray about, because now one of my prayers is just, God, please help me grow in my like social charisma and grow my social confidence so that I can't feel so shy, or so that I don't feel so shy and awkward around people, and that I can just truly be who I know I am and not feel like bound by like, oh, I can only act this way if I know somebody. Like I just want to be Samantha and not worry about how long I've known somebody and not worry about what they think about me. I just want to be me and just be me, like proud and loud, if that makes sense. But as a person, I'm almost always worried about what people think of me. And that was the reason why I drank and why I smoked, because I knew if I did those things, I worried about it less. So it was almost like a way to it was like a way to take care of my anxiety, when at the end of the day, God is the answer to that. He's the answer to all of it. So like if you deal with anxiety or you deal with even overthinking, then you probably know what I'm talking about. And this is something that God is freeing me from. But I kind of had to identify, like, wait, that's why you do that. That's why you think you need to drink. That's why you had to smoke, because you thought it helped your anxiety and in turn made you like easier to be around. When it's like, dude, I have access to a perfect father who can take care of that, like, you know what I mean, like with no bad consequence. Because you drink alcohol, you get hangovers. You smoke weed. Oop, I said the word. You smoke green leaf, and you can, I mean, people don't believe in the addiction to it, but I believe addiction to it is real. So it's like all these things have these like negative consequences, but we have access to a perfect father who wants to free us from our chains, free us from what we're dealing with, free us from pain, free me from depression and anxiety, and really like help me grow in who I am as a woman of God and who I am as a person, right? And for a long time, I think I just wasn't seeing God in that way, and that's why I turned to the bottle, or I turned to the blunt. Like it was like, okay, well, this is where I get my fix. And I'm like so thankful that God was patient with me, um, in showing me like, hey, you know, I'm here for you. Like I can help you with that. And just giving me the strength to let it go. But obviously, as I've explained, it's not easy. Sometimes being modest is not easy, and sometimes being sober is not easy. And sometimes you're gonna feel like, dang, I wish I could wear this crop top, and I wanna, like, I saw this super cute outfit on TikTok recently, and I was like, dang, I wish I could wear that, but I already know God. I gotta honor you. And it's like sometimes it's a sacrifice. And I think what is love if it's not sacrifice? Because I love God. And since I love him, I'm willing to sacrifice parts of me so that he can give me the best parts of him. And so that he can, change those parts of me to honor him in the best way. Um, but yeah. And I feel like I've talked a lot here, and this video is taking way longer than it should have, because I'm gonna be real with y'all, I could do this makeup in like 10 minutes and I already know we're past that. But this is just surface level discussion about modesty and sobriety, and like what it means to let go of yourself for God, to let go of yourself and let God fill in the space. One of my sayings for this year is like big God, little me. And what that means to me is like I want God to become bigger and bigger in my life, and me and what I care about become smaller and smaller. There's a Bible verse that says, it's in Matthew, I believe, where Jesus says, who who he who loses his life um gains it, but he who like holds on to his life loses it. Like, so Jesus is saying, like, if you lose your life for the sake of me, you will gain everything, but if you hold on to your life, for your sake, you gain nothing. And every day it's like I'm praying, God, please let me be the man that loses my life in sake of you so that I can have more of you in my life. And that might be where you are. And if that's not where you are, that's okay. If you're just here listening, just chatting, because we are just chit chatting, girlies and guys, if guys are watching, we are just chit chatting. Like, I'm just so happy you're here. And I have been praying for you. I've been believing for you to be here. And obviously, I want you guys to just stick around. And I really want to grow in relationship with you guys and grow in relationship with God with you guys. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know how y'all feel down below about the chit chat get ready with me concept. It's my first time ever filming like a makeup talking video, so I do feel a little awkward. If there's anything you think I could work on or done better, let me know down below. But I was so happy to like do this video with you guys. I cannot wait to see you guys next time, and I'm just wishing you love and peace. Bye, babies.